Hello internet. I made a video not so long ago. Or it's someone came into my chat when I was streaming, and I got back on the topic of nationalism, and also he was talking about race and stuff. So these are two things that people are mixing together. They're mixing. They take words that are starting to come like brands. You're branding people as evil or bad, or it's what you do. You categorize. It's how your mind works. We're probably never gonna get away from it, because everybody does it. Because it's how you view the world in a fast manner. Like if you get to know one person and you really take the time to know them, it takes a long time. So that's why people generalize, because it's faster. So it's a matter of how much time you have, and how lazy you are, and also how much what you've been taught, how to evaluate, and to know your own bad behaviors and stuff. Anyways, what the purpose of this video is to basically go into some simple biology and the world map. So if I get this on the screen, here we go. Okay, here we are. So I did this DNA test from my heritage. Not sponsored, by the way. Anyways, so my mother is from Sweden and my father is from Finland. So these are the percentages of my biological makeup. So I am a mixed breed of white people. I am Finnish, 50%. And this genetic heritage comes from southern Finland, Russian, Leningrad, and Estland. My Scandinavian heritage is 40%, and it's Dalarna and Stockholm and East Sweden. And Sweden is pretty tall, so it's more of a north and south, and we don't have much of a east and west, because it's pretty thin compared to its length, north and south. I also have 9% Baltic. So these percentages has changed a little bit over time, because the percentages are made of the people who has actually made the test. So you find genetic ties to so everyone that has swapped their mouth and sent it in will change the percentages, because they only have the data of their customer base. So the customer base will when the customer base increase the data flow, you will get a different picture over time. Anyways, so these are the bubbles of the areas where the groups of people have lived. So you can see it's over this area, but it's concentrated in the smaller ones, where you can find your genetic where you come from, basically. And these are my forefathers, and I cannot control this. So but these are basically their own groups of people, And how you recognize this is not only by the borders of the countries, because it's basically the people and their choices of partner that causes this. And these bubbles are somewhat interesting the more concentrated you are, but they could have done one bubble, like we have this nationalist borders that creates these bubbles somewhat, you know, but it also creates it's racist to say so, the different breeds. And how does breeding work? Because if you're an anti-racist, mixed breeding is the solution, and this is simply not true. The reason being is that you need to constantly be mixed breeding forever for keeping a person a mixed breed. The only thing that will probably keep that going for quite some time is the ability to move around the planet today. So tourism, refugees, and people being able to move around is gonna change this quite a lot. Through the EU, we're part of the EU now, which makes it easier for people to move around inside if you're a member state. So if you're a citizen of one country, you're able to move somewhere else is easier. You still need funding though. So in the future, this might be one blob, not 3 blobs, because you have the green one, purple, and the blue here, and that could be just one big circle for me, because that's actually what I am. I'm just this bubble, 1. I'm not 3. I'm this bubble, the 1. And this will continuously happen. And let's say, for example, that I have 3 friends that are male and 4 female friends, and we all like each other's traits. We find ourselves not annoying socially. We find ourselves somewhat attractive, funny, attractive, smart. Maybe we look at each other and think we like each other's physical features as well. We like that we are tall, that we are strong, or, you know, I think you're fast. You're a fast runner. You're skinnier than me, and I could be a little bit skinnier. You know, so this is choices of partner and thinking of how your children will be, which in a way is racism. So if we would do this and we would have 4 families, and then we can't you know, force our children to become partners, because that would be immoral on several levels. But what you could do is trying to encourage it, and if they say no, your little breeding project is over, basically. So we're not gonna get away from the mixed breeding, but even though that's the case, on a scale of Europe, we will become new people with time, you know. So it's beyond comprehension how long it will take, but I mean, there's a classical song that, like, who cares after 100 years, and it kind of applies, because what we care about today will not be the world view of the ones living from in the future, you know. So, and they will be united behind something. And what is that something? You know. So, the movement within the European Union is causing a strain to old national structures, because you're a politician that are supposed to fix problems that you don't really have the control over. That's at least the problem in Sweden. That is, you make somewhat of an effect, but you don't really control. So you make changes, but you don't control them. And over time, there's new changes depending on the situation and what is needed, basically. What works, this doesn't work, and what people actually thinks works and stuff. So it's totally two different things, and you can't. That's the problem with the anti-racists, because they talk about Nazis and racists as one thing, and it's not the same thing. Because what I talked about right now about my genetic heritage, this is what makes racism. And if you think you want to breed something beautiful, smart, or strong, because you want your children to be good, an anti-racist would risk having children with a handicapped person that might pass on their disability to the children, while a racist would pick the healthiest stock they can find to partner up with. And everybody does that, if they're not stupid, that is, or willing to take risks with their sperm or eggs. But being part of the EU is gonna makes politics somewhat harder on a local level in the actual nation. So people who are against nationalism, just look at all the nations here. And then you also look at the anti-racists and people who are against nationalists. Are they a citizen of a nation? Or are they just some free bird who doesn't take responsibility for anything and have high opinions of themselves and their opinion? Because they are... what are they supporting and standing behind, really? I think they just scroll on TikTok and read articles about stuff and then just being stupid and brainwashed about concepts that they are allowed to hate. Because it's two different things: genetic makeup and national borders and laws. I think I'm done here. Goodbye.